98 Sports Talk here. Wanted to do a preview of the Tennessee Volunteers for the upcoming 2018 season. It's late January, so I know we're 6 months away, but hey, who cares? It's never too early to talk SEC football, in my opinion. So yeah, I wanted to get this video out there. I'm going to be doing all the SEC teams. If you guys haven't hit the sub button yet, please do so. I would appreciate it. It's my new channel, trying to get it built up. I want to do some live streams in the future for everybody. Should be a lot of fun. But let's dive into it here. Tennessee in the 2017 season was a complete dumpster fire. Butch Jones really should have been fired after that Georgia loss, 41 to nothing. That's just inexcusable. Losing 41 to nothing to pretty much anybody in your own stadium. I mean, you can't do that and expect to keep your job, but somehow he held on to the end of the season. I don't know, um, but he did. But Philip Fulmer came in and finally cleaned up the mess and actually made what I think will prove to be a really good hire in Jeremy Pruitt. I think Pruitt's an excellent defensive coordinator. To me, he's kind of proven that at Georgia and Alabama, which were his last two stops. Both defenses improved and played really well under him. So I see no reason to think that he won't, have similar results up in Tennessee. I think, with Butch Jones, you saw teams kind of crumbling at the end and kind of they just didn't seem to know what to do. They weren't on the same page. I think that's all going to change with Pruitt. I think you'll see his teams at the very least play extremely hard and put out a lot of effort. But that being said, he's going to have a rough go of it in the 2018 season. He's got Jared Garantano coming back, who's probably going to be his starting quarterback. Offensive line issues. He's got a little talent on the defensive side of the ball, but again, he's got a long way to go with that team. A team that was 4-8 last season, and had zero SEC wins. So it's going to be tough for him. Taking a look at Tennessee's schedule, they start out with West Virginia. That to me is a 50-50 game. I could see them winning it. I could see them losing it. Then they have a couple of cupcakes. And then they go into what possibly could be the toughest 5-game stretch in the nation. I mean, this is a nightmare for any team. First of all, they've got to play Florida at home. Then they go on the road to Athens and play Georgia. Then they have a bye week. Then they play at Auburn. Then they come back home and play Bama. Then they go on the road again and play South Carolina. Florida's going to be improved. Bama is obviously going to be extremely tough again. Georgia is going to be an extremely tough game. Auburn should be a very tough game with Stidham coming back. And I think South Carolina is going to be improved under Muschamp. I think he's a pretty good coach. Not great, but I think he kind of got a bad rap in Florida because he just couldn't. He never could find anything to get that offense going. But I think he's going to do well on South Carolina, and at the very least, I think he'll have a tough defense to contend with there in South Carolina. So I think that 5-game stretch for Tennessee is just really, really tough. I think they'll probably win like 1 or 2 games there. If they can win 3, that would be really good for Tennessee. That would mean they would probably have to beat Florida, South Carolina, and Auburn as well. I don't see them beating Georgia or Bama, but let's be real. They'd have to beat one of to win 3 of those games. They'd have to beat Georgia, Bama, or Auburn, and the most likely one to win there is Auburn. So 2 wins likely out of that. Going 2 and 3, that really wouldn't be bad, all things considered. And then they've got teams like Kentucky and Vandy and Missouri to round out the season. So the way I see Tennessee finishing up is 7-5. I think they've got a chance to go 6-6, and a slight chance to go 8-4 if they do really well. But I think 7-5 is the most likely outcome for that team. But again, things are on the upswing in Knoxville with Jeremy Pruitt. It has not been good to be a Vols fan in the last few years. But I think going forward, I think Vol fans are going to have a lot to cheer for. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section if you did agree or disagree with 7-5.